Today we are going to be exploring more of the Te Urewera rainforest and its hidden caves.
This morning we leave really early to Lake Waikaremoana holiday park because we are going to explore the surroundings, and mainly we are going to be exploring the Onepoto Caves.
While there are many stunning hikes around Lake Waikaremoana, more to lookouts and different viewpoints, we want to do something more underground and adventurous, and the Onepoto Caves are just the thing.
Alright, so let's start with a little bit of local knowledge. Yesterday when we did our boat tour around Lake Waikaremoana with David, he told us that if we wanted to tackle the Onepoto Cave walk, it would be much easier to start at the lower end of the track, so that's what we're doing today. As we are climbing our way up the track, the forest becomes thicker and thicker. It almost feels like we are already in a cave, and speaking of cave, we quickly find our first one and we are looking for its inhabitants.
Sure enough, we find our first native wildlife, and these are cave weta, which are really easy to spot with their dark bodies up against the white rock. But according to Maori legend, these are not the only things that are living in these caves. Someone at the holiday park yesterday told us that a warrior chief called Tuwa used to live in here and slay any man who would come into his caves. Hopefully we don't bump into him today as well. It's surprising that this is only just the first cave that we're going into, and there's already so much to see in between the wetas, the cobwebs, the different rock formations, but there's a lot more caves to explore, so we're getting back on the track and making our way.
One of the really fun things along the track is that there's really heaps of little holes, nooks and cracks and hidden caves.
Guys, you think I should go check it out?
It's a pretty tight fit, but as soon as I get inside, I found a massive amount of paintings. I'm getting excited. Is that some early Maori paintings? Hell no. It's a bunch of locals that just went and drew stuff on the rocks with their fingers. Moving on a little bit further down the track, we start finding some much bigger holes and much bigger caves. And it's a really cool thing to explore. There is massive holes from above ground, and from underground it's some really intricate cave networks. So I'm taking the high ground and walk literally on top of Laura, which is exploring underneath the caves. Although this track is supposed to take only between an hour and a half and 2 hours, it really feels that it's going to take us much longer because there is heaps to explore. But that's alright, because we find some food.
So look at what I found, some kawa, and apparently the caterpillars really love those ones, so they're gonna make amazing tea.
The Onepoto Caves are not your usual cave formations that you usually find in New Zealand. These caves were formed by a landslide which was caused by an earthquake around 2,200 years ago. And it was that same landslide that actually formed Lake Waikaremoana. And these huge blocks of sandstone, they broke into jigsaw-like pieces, and some of them stacked on top of each other to create all these caves. As well as caves, the landslides created these giant bluffs with awesome viewpoints overlooking the forest and the lake nearby.
I want to go that way.
Yes, on some parts of the track there's not really a clear indication on which way to go, so it's quite fun to just make your own way to the next section of the track. But if you do see orange markers when doing walks in New Zealand, these pretty much keep you right. If you see any other coloured markers, however, don't follow those. They usually lead to pest traps and will send you way off course. But back to our own little adventure, we're exploring so many different types of caves. There's all sorts of different things, from small cavities to tunnels that reach up to 20 meters long.
Although we've been advised to return on the track the same way, we always like to explore new places. So around the end of the track, we keep on following those orange markers all along the way, and we find ourselves a ladder out of all things. And this ladder leads us back to the road that we were driving on.
We do assume that because we climbed most of the hike, we need to go down. So that's what we're going to be doing. Going down and hoping to find a car at some point. We've now been walking for about 20 minutes on this road. There was not a single car. We have not seen any sign of our cars, any signs of where we are. So, yeah. That's interesting, right?
At last, after a lot of walking and a lot of doubting, we finally found our car back. We are now making our way back to our accommodation because tomorrow we're leaving the lake. And some people have actually done some kind of like semi-traditional paintings, which is really cool because at first glance I was like, holy shit, there's some early Maori paintings right here. No, it's just Bob and his finger. But, you know, I just kind of thought it was cool at the beginning, but then I realized I was an idiot, so, you know.